Granny Square Day is coming. I hope you're excited as I am. I've got a lot planned this week, starting today. Welcome, Kristen here with Enchanted Yarnworks. I'm so glad you made it. So today I'm super excited because today is the beginning of a full week of, guess what? Granny Squares. Granny Square Day is on Friday, August 15th. I'm excited. Are you excited? So what we're going to do is we're going to randomly choose a granny square a day and crochet them for fun. I hope you're excited. Hang out, click that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get all of my updates. And then definitely please send a like and hang out with me today so we can make some fun granny squares with these beautiful colors I have. Here we go. Are you ready? I'm super excited to do this. Granny Square Week is going to be amazing. So here we go, day one. What I've done is, you can see back here, I have a whole clothespin lineup of my Stylecraft DK special yarn colors. I'm super psyched. You guys saw my post that I posted on Sunday. It shows you all the colors that I have for my lovely cabinet full. It's great. I'm excited. So that's what I'm going to use today and this week for all these granny squares, because I have the most abundance of colors in that type of yarn. So I have 50. I picked it. These are fun. We're going to use these. We're going to do random. I have in my jar here, I have 2 sets of numbers 1 through 50. I have regular ones for this deck, and I have ones with stars next to them for this deck. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pull out one number, and it's going to tell us what square we're working with today. So I'm pretty psyched. Then we'll pick the colors, and we'll just have some fun. So are you ready? Let's do it. Let me move these out of the way just a little bit so I can do this. Let me angle this just a little bit so we're working more closer to me and not so far away. Okay, here we go. Shake, shake. Put in the comments what number you think we're going to get first. I'm curious to see if anybody's able to come up with a number or be in tune or use their intuition to see what number we're going to get. Okay, let's see. All right. I can't see them. You can tell I can't see them. I have no idea what's what. And I purposely wrote the stars in pencil so they don't bleed through the paper. All right, first one. Here we go. Ooh, number 15. So there's no star, so it's going to be this deck here. And I'm going to leave that aside so that I don't draw it again later for our next granny square. Okay, that goes over here. These decks are pretty great. I have them linked down below with an Amazon Associates link. Disclaimer, everything that I show you today that I'm using, my hooks, my needles, these guys, I'm going to link down below. And I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you choose to purchase anything through that link, I may receive some commissions for that as a thank you from Amazon. And don't worry, you're not going to be charged extra. It's just a little thank you from them. So let's open this together. Comes with a nice little user guide. It shows you the squares they're using, recommended colors for each square. It is a DK weight yarn, so that works perfect for what we're doing. They're going to be 4 inches, a 4mm hook. Absolutely, that's what I'm going to use. It looks like it does have, actually, let me cheat for a sec. It is using crochet charms. I mean, US crochet charms, but there is a little chart here to translate for you. if you are not familiar with them. And then there's a whole stitch chart. That's nice. It tells you how to read the stitch chart. So if any of you out there are struggling to figure out how to read these guys, sometimes I forget. This will help you tremendously. Yeah, it just goes through. And then special stitches, how to join your squares together. We'll see how the end of this week goes. Maybe I'll do a video. Maybe we'll make something cool out of all this and make something at the end of another video. So this talks about finding your inspiration and what colors to use, etc. How to arrange them. Square patterns. Okay, so there's one where you do half and half colors, I see. Circles, starting with a circle, making it a square. Quarter colors. So your colors are in quarters around your square. Stripes. Okay, sorry. And then a 3D flower. Okay, sorry if that's weird. So there's a little booklet. And then here's a little flyer saying that this summer, which has passed because I have it right here, this was coming out. So yay for that. And then here we are. Here's the first square. Let me move this a little bit more so we can come closer. This is square number 1. So this is a nice thick card. It's lovely. Shows you a great picture. And then on the back, it gives you the instructions on how to make it. Okay, so let's go in here and find, I'm going to do this, square number 15. I'll let you see as we go here. So some are using the granny square technique and some are just using, is that half double? Double crochet, right? Yes, double crochet. As you can see as we go, look at the colors. That one's a corner, another kind of corner. Cool, stripes. 13. This is 14. Ooh, and here's 15. Okay, so this is pretty much a standard-ish granny square where you usually start in your center and then you change colors as you go. You can do this. All right. Let's move this all aside now. Put this away. Great thing is they're already numbered. I'm not going to get lost. I'm one of those weird people that likes to keep things in a specific order that they came in. I know. If you know, you know. If you don't, and you don't care, look, more power to you. I'm with you. I'm for you for that. Okay. Okay, so here we have all of my colors. Let me go on a little bit. Maybe not that much. Check it out. I just went through my whole stash again and organized all these colors. Aren't they gorgeous? So beautiful. Boom, boom, boom. So, should we match the colors on the square? Or should we do our own colors? Now, mind you, the brand suggested for these colors is not the brand I'm using, but I have this beautiful color palette right here, so I could literally just match it up. Okay, let's do the matching. So for the yellow, I'm thinking lemon, which is right here, orange, maybe the spice right here. I don't really have something, well, maybe a tomato. Is that tomato closer? I'll pull them both and we'll see. Let's see here. I think I'm liking the spice better than the tomato. And I said lemon. And then this purpley color. Grape. Let me put this kind of in an order of where it is on the chart. And then we have this light pinkish color. So let's see. Powder pink? I think powder pink hits it, guys. What do you think? Is that it? I think we're just going to go with it. It's going to be beautiful. Gorgeous. All right, so let me get my yarns. Put this away right there. Okay. Okay, so I have my beautiful colors. So what I want to show you is I love to cake my yarns. I use a Stanwood yarn winder, which I absolutely love. It's a heavy duty model and it has a big wind thing on, so you can make big cakes and wind big yarns like the chenille yarns. I love it. I'll link that down below too. I'm actually planning on doing a video coming up of me winding some yarns from hanks because I have some hanks that need to be done. But I digress. So I like to wind my yarns up in cakes, and then this is the size that the Stylecraft skeins come. This is how they start and this is how they end up. And then I like to put this thread saver over it with the label in there so it all stays nice and compact and solid together, and it gives me all the information I need. Doesn't get lost, doesn't get dirty, doesn't unwind. And this is just like a thread saver, so it's made to put over spools of like large thread spools, but I love it. So I'll link that too for you guys. Okay, let's get on with this square making business. So I have the lemon. We're starting with the powder pink. Now some of these are smaller because I've been using them, and I like the fact that when I have them in the thread saver, they just get smaller and smaller and it all stays compact and doesn't unwind, it doesn't get messy, it's perfect. And I just pull from the center. And then I have the spice and then the grape. You can see I've used a couple of these. Lemon I haven't used yet, so today's day one for lemon. Woohoo! A 4mm hook is what we need, and I have just my generic ergonomic ones that I picked up when I was needing something quick and easy and cheap. Excuse me, affordable. On Amazon, I'll link them below. They come in a set of 3, and they are absolutely affordable. It's fantastic. So, okay, flipping over our instructions. This is our photo, and we're gonna get going. Okay, let's get started. I know I just said that, but I'm ready. Zoom in just a little bit for you guys so we can kind of see better. All right, 4mm hook. We are starting with powder pink. That's right. Alrighty, let me get this. I feel like the camera's in a weird position. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get it figured out. Okay, so we are starting with a chain 4. So I'm going to do my slip knot. I do mine a little differently, but that's okay. It works for me, and it's just perfectly fine. Okay, so chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we are slip stitching to the first to make our circle. So doing this instead of a magic ring makes sure that it doesn't come unwound in the middle. Sometimes that'll happen. So now we need to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then do 2 double crochets in the center of that. Okay, and then we're chaining 3, come back around, and we are doing 3 double crochets, still in the beginning circle that we made with the 4 chains. Okay, and then again, chain 3. So we're doing 4 groupings of 3 double crochets here. Now our chain 3 at the beginning will count as that double crochet in that first grouping. So that gives us that 3, 3. So 3 more. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. And here's our last grouping that we're going to do, because we're making a square, right? Here we go. This is one of the easiest granny squares because it's square, square, square all the way. There it is. And then now we need to chain 3 and then slip stitch to the top of our chain 3 over here. Just like that. So look, there it is. There's our first little center. And that is this part right here. Okay. Okay, so I'm looking at this and this is really great. These instructions are fantastic. It is literally telling you how to do each row. And then it is telling you how to change and when and where to actually change your colors. So if we look on the instructions, we're going to be tying off our first color here. And then our second color starts over here in our corner chains. Actually, it looks like it starts on top of our double crochet in that first grouping, the last one, which that's really kind of cool. However, that is in this block. I'm going to pull up the block that we're doing to compare. And that one says that we are changing colors in the corner. That's really cool. I'm going to look at this to double check. Yep, it's starting in the corner chains opposed to in the top. We're going to be finishing off, it looks like, in the top of the double crochet. So right there. All right. This is fun. Okay, so let me cut this guy with the scissors. And I'm going to pull that out and finish that. I'm going to pull this through this. There we go. Where am I at? Goodness. It just went invisible. There we go. Here's the top. So silly me. Okay. So next, is this really too, hang on. This looks really bright. Maybe better color contrast. Might be better. Does that look like a better pink? Okay. Next we have the spice color. So I want to show you real quick how I put these back in. So I just like to kind of wind my yarn back up and to make sure that the pull is towards me, and I just kind of push it right back in the center. Ta-da! Easy. Next up is spice. Okay, we're being pretty picky about how this wants to come out. Goodness, I must have wound it funny when I put it back in there. Yikes. There it is. Okay. So to do this connecting, yes, I'm going to make a slip knot. I'm just going to go into my corner here and chain, connect it, and then now we're chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I need to do 1 double crochet. And then I'm chaining 3. You guys can see it there. Follow along. 1, 2, and 3. And then I have 2 in the chain corner. 1, 2, and now we're going to be working in our actual double crochets there. I want to see how they do. Yep, exactly how I thought. So 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3 double crochets. And then we have 2 in our corner, our chain space. Beautiful. Now we are going to chain 3 and repeat. So 2 here. Sorry. And then 1 in each double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 in our chain space. And then chaining 3 again. I'm going to turn it so I'm on the same page. Now you could do your granny squares with any size yarn you would like. You can make baby granny squares. Have you guys seen that lady on Instagram? Can't remember her name. I'm going to have to find her and link her. But she's been making that granny square blanket with micro crochet. I am blown away. I think it's amazing. So you could go tiny like that. I actually started a project 2 years ago that I haven't finished that is making a book cover out of embroidery floss. I kind of got distracted. I'll come back to it eventually. But then you could obviously go up in size and make chunky ones, or excuse me, let's go up from DK, which is your worsted weight. And you could make worsted weight, which is usually the typical like wearable weight yarn that people use, Aran weight or worsted weight. And then you could go chunky and super chunky, which will make quick and nice and big granny squares. So yeah, that's what these are great. So this card decks of granny squares will give you so much inspiration on what kind of squares you could do, and you could just make anything. Gosh, there's 100 here. You could do 100 days of granny squares. I might do that, guys. Would you guys watch that? That's pretty cool. If you would, that'd be great. Okay, so now I have to get 1 in the top of this chain space. Because these were chains, remember? There we go. That way it's all equal and even. And then 1 in the top of this double crochet. And I am pulling this over to kind of block it in. I might change it later and pull it back out and then just sew all that in. We'll see how I feel. And then the next one. Nope, I did that wrong. I'm sorry. Okay, 1 in that chain space. Yes. That piece of yarn was distracting me. Okay, and then 1 here above there, and then the last one goes right here. Yup, that's it. So then now we are slip stitching to the top of this chain. I don't know why I seem to make this harder than it has to be sometimes. Maybe because I have this perfection idea of how it's supposed to go. I don't know. That's just me. Anybody else out there do this? Should we start a club of perfection slip stitching? I don't know. Is that a thing? Goodness gracious. Okay, I think I got it. I didn't. Whatever. It's going to be fine. Okay, there is row 2 for us. round 2. Pull that out and back. Looking cute. Okay. Okay, that one's going back over there. Next up we have grape. And grape says, the purple says we are again going to connect our color in the chain space. So we are going to be connecting it over here. Find my center. There we go. Doo-doo-doo. So now this, if you've noticed, I was looking at it too. It has telling you a way to join. So if you're joining all of your, what that means is when you're joining your other squares together, it's telling you, suggesting the best joining method to use, which is on page 14, and it's a slip stitch method. Okay, here we go. Slip knot. Oh, buddy, there we go. All right, so joining. Yes, I will be weaving all these guys in. Don't you fret. Join and chaining 3 again. 2 and 3. So sorry. And then we need to do another double. Oh, here we're changing stitches. Did you notice that? So we are actually going to be doing the granny square kind of bunch stitch. That is not what it's called. I'm sorry, but I'm lacking the words right now. Instead of just going all the way around in the double crochet like we did, we're actually doing the granny stitch cluster, maybe? Is that what you would call it? Okay, but we still need to do 2 more double crochets over here. Like so. Okay, and then we are chaining 3. All of our corners are chain 3s, and now we're doing a cluster here. Of 3 granny stitches, 3 double crochets, excuse me. It makes a granny stitch. And then we have a chain 1, and we are skipping 1, 2, 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. In the 4th one, we are doing a cluster of double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then chaining again, and then clustering in our corner. This one is pretty simple, guys. 1, 2, 3. Chain 3, 3 again in the corner. 1, 2. The reason I am using this yarn and have this yarn is I absolutely love the feel of this yarn. I like lighter weight yarns. I am absolutely in love with knitting as far as the fabric texture that comes from knitting. Unfortunately, I am so used to crochet. I've been crocheting since I was on and off since I was like 8, that I lose my patience when I try to teach myself knitting. I've tried to teach myself probably 4 times, and I just, when you're proficient at something and you're learning something new, it's hard. It's really hard to really throw yourself into it. But I'm trying. I'll get there eventually. But I do like the lighter weight that this of fabric that this yarn gives me. Okay, so I chained 1. Now we're skipping the 3. 1, 2, 3, and now our double crochet cluster. And then chain 1, and then back in the corner with another cluster. do this again. I'm so sorry. I just feel like I keep getting out of the camera view. 3 again, and then back in the corner for 3 more double crochets, and then a chain 1, skipping 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and back over here in the corner, 1, 2, 3, chain 3, same thing here, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and we're back to the beginning side, skipping 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to be over here in the 4th, doing our cluster, and then chaining 1, and I really need to tie that off because it's being silly and loose. And then we slip stitch over here into the top of this chain 3. There it is. How cute. Okay. I do need to, for my sanity, and to keep this from being a mess. I'll come back to it. Okay, last one we have is the lemon color. And again, we are connecting in the corners. We will be doing a chain 3 again. And I put this grape color away. All right, lemon, fresh lemon. Your first time. Sorry, I know that sounded really silly. All right. Okay, slip knot again. And then we start chain 3 in our corner. Just like before. 1, 2, and 3. And now we have, now this is harder to read because it's light yellow. So we just have 1 double crochet and then a chain 3. And then on this side we have 2 in the chain. So it looks like we're just finishing off going in pretty much every stitch, it looks like. But we shall see. 1, 2. Now we're going in all 3 of our double crochets and in the chain. Let's see. Yep, okay. There's no chains on this side, only in the corners. Okay, so those are 3, and then now we're back to the corner, and I need to do 2 in the corner before our chain 3. And then 2 here, and then back all the way across. 1 in each. focus. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. 15 stitches on each side. Chain 3, 2 in the chain space, and then let's go back across. You know, you could do so many color options with any of these granny squares. I mean, you could do like a muted ombre option. You could do, there's so many options. I love it. And whatever yarn you choose to use, I'm sure they have a beautiful array of color choices. But like I said, I do love this Style Craft Special DK. Yes, it's acrylic. Oh, it's so soft and so easy to work with, and gives me the perfect texture of fabric that I absolutely love to use for most of my works. So chain 3. So we did 2, so we're doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, and 11 before we slip stitch to the end. So 2. So definitely what you could do before you change colors is properly tie these off so they don't kind of unwind and get in the way. I just wanted to get through and show you these amazing granny square cards and do these fun granny squares for you. Maybe the next one in tomorrow's video, I think I'll do that for you guys. I'll just pause the video and then have it nicely cleaned before we start a new color. Because you see, it likes to separate. But they're definitely getting wound in the back here before we go anywhere else. Okay, how many did I say? 11? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There it is, 13. And then we're just slip stitching to the beginning chain 3. And there it is. How cute. Okay. How does that look? What do you think? I'm going to go ahead and weave all these guys in here in a second and then come back and chit chat for a minute. Now this has obviously been blocked because it's nice and square for the picture. So absolutely, before you, if you want to, before you go ahead and put your squares together to make whatever it is you're going to make, you can block them to get them perfectly where you want them. Blocking mats I highly recommend are from Knit IQ. I absolutely love them. I will link them down below too, so that you can check them out. They have a few different styles. The one that I have has 9 square blocks, and they all fit together in a huge block, for lack of words. I'm so sorry. And they have a big circle, and so they have the grids, the 1-inch grids. They also make ones with centimeter grids for those of you who are metric, but they in the center are a bunch of circles so that you can easily block the circular items that you may have, which is equally fantastic. So I will put those in the description box for you as well. And these lovely needles. These needles come in this fabulous tin. This is a saltine cracker tin. You get a random tin, which I think is kind of fun. But it comes with like 18 or 16 needles. Most of them are the larger size like this, and then there are a few that are smaller. I keep those in the bag so I don't lose them, because you know they're probably going to get lost if I let everybody out of the bag. So, okay. All right, that's going over. So I'm going to finish this up, and then I will see you in a few minutes. All right. I hope you had fun today with me. I certainly had fun. Granny squares can be a lot of fun and definitely colorful depending on how you want to work the palette. So here is our block square that we did today. Isn't she so cute? So I'm going to put this in my pile to get ready for tomorrow's videos and tomorrow's squares. So please definitely make sure you're subscribed and you have clicked the notification bell so you'll get all the notifications when my videos go live, because there's going to be one every day this week leading up to Friday, National Granny Square Day. I'm excited for that. I hope you're excited for that. And thanks for hanging out, and I will see you again tomorrow.